this could only happen to the New York Jets. I really believe what we endured this past Monday night is only something that could happen to us. Um, Lost Aaron Rodgers, you know, a lot of buildup, a lot of preparation, anticipation, a lot of focus on what this team could have achieved with Aaron Rodgers at the helm as the captain of the ship. And we'll never know. We got 4 snaps. So this season officially has to turn over a new leaf. And as such, my predictions for the season have, of course, changed a bit. With that said, my prediction video for week 2 of the NFL season also has to have a bit of tweaking. Hence why I'm retaping it now. The New York Jets lost Aaron Rodgers for the season on Monday night, but they won the game. They gutted it out and they showed a level of resolve that I think as a fan base we can appreciate. I think seeing what this defense is capable of, to go ahead and the coaching staff to keep those guys focused after seeing Aaron Rodgers go down within the first 4 snaps. I don't think we really can give enough credit to what that means and how this team has changed so dramatically from times past, where that could have literally imploded the team and that could have gone terribly, terribly wrong for that game. Aaron Rodgers is out. Zach Wilson is back. There's a lot of reservations about that. There's a lot of people who are feeling some type of way. Some just feel like we're cursed. We need to be trading all kinds of capital to bring in another quarterback. And you know what? At the end of the day, the good news is Aaron Rodgers has alluded to the fact that he wants to be a New York Jet. He's going to get the surgery, which he did get on Wednesday night. And he plans on coming back better and stronger. He's committed to this. I think that a guy of his caliber doesn't go out like that, and I get it. He's 39 to be 40 years old next year. It's going to be very, very tough ask, but Aaron Rodgers intends to come back. And he had his Achilles reattached by the great Dr. El Atrache, although I call him El Attache because he's always attaching ACLs, MCLs, and now Achilles. And the way he did it is such a way in terms of, you've heard positive things, because his technique in repairing Achilles is not like everyone else's. It's a profound new method. It's something that he's done already in the NFL. We've seen drastic improvements or decreases in time to heal, and individuals coming back at full strength. Again, Aaron Rodgers will be 40 years old, but it's promising to see that this surgery was completed and it was done with somebody with a high level of skill such as Dr. El Trache. So with that said, let's turn the page. New York Jets play this week. We play the Dallas Cowboys in their house, and Zach Wilson's the quarterback. Can the New York Jets get a W? Well, let's talk about it.
I can do it all, I will never fall. It's the Renaissance, you know that I got the mother sauce, man. You know I'm the boss, I know what it costs. Have you ever lost? I'm so versatile, yeah, I'm a Renaissance, man. I can do it all, I will never fall. It's the Renaissance, you know that I got the mother sauce, man. You know I'm the boss, I know what it costs. Have you ever lost? I'm so versatile, yeah, I'm a Renaissance, man.
Congratulations, brother.
And here we Zach Wilson season, baby. All right. So Zach Wilson's back. We saw some good things on Monday Night Football when he got thrown into the game unexpectedly. Things that I got to admit, I don't know, was promising to me. Now, am I reaching? Am I hoping that potentially he's taken this massive step to go ahead and be the savior, to become mini Aaron Rodgers, so to speak? No, I don't think that's the route I would take for this game. I do believe Zach Wilson has a level of talent that was only diminished due to poor coaching and his mentality. I think mentally he had a block. He lost his confidence. He couldn't see the field. He did things that he showed he regressed from year 1 to year 2, and I don't think that's Zach Wilson. We also know that Zach Wilson with a healthy Breece Hall is 5-0. Last year, Zach Wilson won games with a healthy Breece Hall. He was 5-0. In fact, the derailment didn't really start until Breece Hall went down, AVT went down, the offensive line got really, really shaky, and it seemed like it was just one thing after another. I digress. But this is Zach Wilson now that has had the opportunity to have a guy like Aaron Rodgers in his corner for the last 5 months, 6 months. He's been able to go ahead and pick Aaron Rodgers' brain, see how he works, see how he operates, see how he sees the field, ask questions to better understand this game. Can Aaron Rodgers' presence have been enough to go ahead and slow this game down for Zach Wilson? I think the answer is yes. When we brought Aaron Rodgers in, it wasn't just to bring Aaron Rodgers in to take us to the Super Bowl this season. It wasn't for him to go ahead and just come here and potentially just lead us to the Super Bowl this year, next year, boom, call it a day. In addition to, we wanted to see if he could fix or help fix Zach Wilson. We've already seen that the characteristic of this team has drastically changed for the better. I feel like if Aaron Rodgers wasn't on this roster and we lost a quarterback on Monday night, I don't know if these guys have the resolve to go ahead and get through that game and beat a tough opponent in the Buffalo Bills. I don't know for sure if they could do it. I think them being able to come back and do so shows a lot. Zach Wilson threw an interception on Monday night, and what the majority of us as fans thought was, here we go, he's going to spiral. He doesn't do well in these situations. Instead, he went to the sideline, and he had his offensive coordinator tell him it was going to be okay. He had his teammates tell him, hey, it's going to be okay. You got Garrett Wilson telling him, I need to make a play for you, man. Just trust the process. It's going to be okay. He had a level of support that he didn't have last year. You had Mike LaFleur up in the booth. Nobody was talking to him whenever he was getting into his own head. This kid had to figure it out and process on his own. He had support on the sideline. I think Nathaniel Hackett being on the sideline is going to be a huge benefit. I think having an experienced offensive coordinator is going to be a benefit. Mind you, Nathaniel Hackett took Blake Bortles to an AFC Championship game. He took Blake Bortles and made him appear to be a NFL starting quarterback. And I believe Zach Wilson's talent level is significantly higher than Blake's. The season's not over. There, I said it. It's not over. We're not going to sit here and decide that it's a wrap because we lost Aaron Rodgers. Now, for me, expectations have changed. If you've watched my previous season prediction videos, I did have the Jets winning 13 games. I no longer believe that's going to be the case. I do believe this team, although no longer a Super Bowl contender, is still a playoff team. There is talent all over this roster. This defense is legit. This running game is elite. I think there's enough here for Zach Wilson to get back there, take a 20% step forward, 20% improvement from what we saw last year, and this team is a playoff caliber team. Once you're in the playoffs, anything could happen. But at the very least, today, the New York Jets are a playoff caliber team. With that said, week 2 is here. We're going to be playing against the Dallas Cowboys, who destroyed the New York Giants week 1. I got to tell you, I've watched that game over and over and over again, and I'm stuck between whether or not the Giants are just that bad or are the Cowboys really just that good. I think it's a combination of the two. I do believe the Cowboys defense is real, but I also do believe that, our offense, we're going to do better now with the loss of Aaron Rodgers, is in that run game, and I think they're susceptible to the run. I think the run is going to be important in this game. So with that said, what do I expect Jets versus Cowboys this weekend? I think it's going to be a defensive game. I don't expect this game to be a high-scoring one, and if you do, I'm sorry to inform you it's not going to be. I will say this, the 9.5-point underdog is it's just a slap in the face. It's disrespectful, to be honest with you, because this Dallas Cowboys offense has questions. After CeeDee Lamb and Tony Pollard, is Dak Prescott really that good? He's been mid the majority of his career. Led the league in interceptions last year. I do believe that Mike McCarthy now being the play caller for the offense is a benefit. Having Aaron Rodgers to be able to go ahead and bounce some ideas off of defensively is a good thing. We're hearing that Aaron Rodgers plans to be at the facility here once the healing process begins. So I think having access to him can only be a benefit as well, not just for, designing the offense around Zach, but for a situation like this where we're going up against one of his old coaches. So when you look at the Giants versus Cowboys game, I think that the Giants averaged a 4.3 yards per carry. The Giants shot themselves in the foot a lot. I don't think they're a very talented roster, but they made it significantly more difficult on themselves by constant mistakes, right? JMS with the horrible snap that caused that fumble, the interception tipped by Saquon Barkley when it was just bad. There was a lot of mistakes made by the Giants that they could not overcome already with a team that lacks talent like theirs. The Jets aren't the Giants. The Jets have talent at every position group. We've got talent. The biggest question mark now is quarterback. But Dak Prescott is no home run hitter either. And I feel like our defense is more well-rounded, but the Cowboys defense is more aggressive. I think that aggressiveness, though, for us is a good thing because, again, we can potentially utilize the running game, some screen passes, utilizing our tight ends to take advantage of that pretty deadly pass rush that those guys have. It's not going to be a high-scoring game. It's just not. I think it's going to be a defensive-minded game. It's going to be which defense creates turnovers that wins this game. And ultimately, it's going to allow us to go ahead and see how Zach Wilson reacts to pressure because the Cowboys are going to bring pressure. They're going to bring a lot of pressure. I think that this offensive line looked good towards the back end of the game on Monday. The Buffalo Bills defensive line is no joke. Those guys held their own. I think they'll only get better as they get more time together. But, man, I'll tell you right now, AVT looked like an all-pro operating at right guard on Monday. I think Dwayne Brown, I saw one play where he whipped around freaking Milano and threw him down on his face. I loved it. It was great. There's a lot to like about our offensive line as they continue to gel and grow and get together and figure things out. So, to me, the Cowboys offensive line has suffered some injuries right now. You're hearing injuries to the interior portion of their offensive line. I think they got Chuga Amoga as their left guard. That, to me, is wow. I'm hearing now that there potentially was an injury to, if I'm not mistaken, is Zach Martin? I'm not sure if that's accurate, but if it is, it's going to be here on the screen. I think it's Zach Martin that just made their injury report as well. It's going to be an opportunity for Quinnen Williams to eat. I think Quinnen Williams is going to dominate the center and of course the left guard. I think if Zach Martin is a dog, right, that'd be more of a challenge. But I want to see Quinnen going over the center or the opposite guard position from Zach Martin if he plays. I think that's going to be a huge benefit. I think our edge rushers can do some damage as well. We got way too much speed, way too much rotation. Those guys are going to get tired. We saw some really, really good things in slowing down the run in Buffalo. I think we could potentially make that difficult for Tony Pollard. There's just so many things that we look at and I see and I'm looking at it. And again, call me a homer. Maybe I'm reaching at straws here, but I just think our defense matches up very well against what they want to do offensively. I think Cook is potentially injured, so he might not be available for the game. That leaves CeeDee Lamb on an island by himself with either DJ Reed or Sauce Gardner. It's the matchup, I believe, puts us at an advantage. And for us to be 9.5 point underdogs is just so disrespectful. And I hope we take that offense and we make it a game. There's this other part of me that has this gut feeling this is going to be a blowout win, right? Like, I don't know why. It's weird. It's odd. There's nothing that logically I could tell you that would make it make sense. It's just a feeling that it's going to be a blowout statement win for the New York Jets. But again, I digress from that. I try to be as unbiased as possible when I do this because I want to be as unbiased as possible because I want to express my real feelings about it, not just my fanboy feelings about it, if that makes any sense. So for me, I think the New York Jets and the Cowboys game is going to be one to watch. It's going to be a good one. But let's get right down to it. The X factors to this game is going to be the running game. I believe Breece Hall and Dalvin Cook are gonna have a pretty good game. I think one of them is going to score a touchdown. And I would love to see a Garrett Wilson touchdown as well from Zach Wilson. But it's going to be a game that winds up, in my opinion, being 14-10. I think the final score for this game is going to be 14-10. You're going to see a lot of defense. A lot of rushing. Ultimately, it comes down to a couple of turnovers that give the New York Jets the edge, and it's a 14-10 win. 2 touchdowns. We hold them to a touchdown and a field goal, and we walk out of there with a victory, and we're 2-0. We're 2-0. With that said, I expect the Buffalo Bills to beat the Oakland Raiders, although I'll be rooting for the Raiders. And I expect the Miami Dolphins to beat the Patriots. I'll never root for the Patriots. So Miami Dolphins beat the Patriots. The Dolphins will be 2-0. Patriots will be 0-2, which, my God, I love it. Bills will be 1-1. Jets will be 2-0. And we move on to week 3. Week 3, I'm especially looking forward to. I really think that's going to be a statement game for the New York Jets, but let's do one game at a time. Week 2, New York Jets at Dallas Cowboys. Get the W. 14-10. We're 2-0. Still at the top of the AFC East for yet another week. And hopefully we get enough information about how Zach Wilson operates this weekend to know how to feel about next week. I got to retape that video as well because there's no Aaron Rodgers. So the video I already pre-taped is not going to make any sense. But anyway, I digress. Hey, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you're not already following me on YouTube and on Twitter, I highly recommend you do so. There is an awesome giveaway that I'm about to go ahead and put out there later today. It's going to be for the Garrett Wilson autographed jersey. Another video is coming out to explain what you need to do to enter, but I highly recommend you following me here on Twitter and, of course, any of the social media platforms you see below. At the end of the day, you cannot replace an Aaron Rodgers. You just can't. It's not possible. But I'm a New York Jets fan first, players fan second. And right now, Zach Wilson is our quarterback. So, to Aaron Rodgers, next man up.
Chant, they like to say, it goes something like Jets, 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 Jets.